What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and it is finally official. The USFL is back, and are you ready for some football? Well, we know at least Birmingham is. Now, if it's your first time here, glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back, and thanks for watching more videos. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. Now, you know I give you that thumbs up at the end of every video, and I'd appreciate it if you give me one down there as well. You know, every like and every subscribe helps out the channel. And speaking of helping out the channel, today I want to know down in the comment section, do you play video games, and what are your favorite type of video games? Mine, I love RPGs. Always have. I love to be able to carve out my own path, create my own characters, build a character. I love that type of feature. I love creating my own journeys and coming up with my own storylines. I love story, and that's what I'm into. I can still remember to this day the time when I played for the very first time Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. That story blew my mind. It was amazing. The finish, I never saw it coming. If you haven't played it, it's a dated game definitely by today's standards, but the story rings true, and it's still one for the ages. Now, to get back into what we're talking about today, and that's the USFL football. And listen, everything is ready to go for USFL football in Alabama, specifically in Birmingham. And listen, they are all excited about it. Even the governor, that's right, the governor came out and she gave her stamp of approval on this.
Alabama is proud to host the first season of the United States Football League this spring.
So, with all of this going out and about, it is finally official. They are doing a blitz out today about everything. And really, I am just kind of a bit confused, excited, ready for it. Got a lot of questions that need answered. I am just in this kind of weird space. I'm really excited for what's going on. They've got me excited for the game that is coming up. They've officially announced the first game, but yet we still are waiting on coaches. We don't know about players, but we know when players are going to report. We know how much it's going to cost to get in the games, but we don't know when all of the games are. We know that where they're going to be played, where they're going to be shown, but we know some things, we don't know other things, and it just goes to show that I just want to talk about that later, but let's get through all of the news. So first and foremost, they're really setting roots in Birmingham, and Birmingham is definitely going to be not only the hub city for them, but Birmingham is going to be an anchor for them in this league. They've decided that I think Birmingham is going to be a place where this league is going to kind of reside, and they're going to kind of go out from there. And I wouldn't be surprised that in the future, this is where the league headquarters will be. But they're partnering with the Boys and Girls Club. You had Reggie Bush, you had Moose Johnson out there, and you had Phil Savage out there, and meeting with the community there. They're trying to get involved in the community. They've already been working with the community. They've got these deals with the city council all set up. This is going to be a really good thing for the USFL and also for the local community there. So what did they announce with the first game? Well, it's going to be on April 16th. It's going to be at 7:30. It's going to be played in Protective Stadium, where most of the games are going to be played, and other games are going to be played at Legion Field just down the road. But that's where it's going to be. But the historic thing about this is that it's going to be simulcast on both NBC and Fox. Now, we don't know what Fox channel or what NBC channel, but they're going to be on both stations, which is huge. And actually, this is the first time that that's happened since the Super Bowl, that you had competing companies being able to broadcast such an event like this. And I think that that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to create an event. And why do I say that? Because of the price of the tickets. Listen, if you're anywhere close to where you can go drive there, get there, I think you're going to have a fun time. Why? Because it's going to be cheap. It's $10 to get in for adults, and anybody 15 and under, you're free. So if you've got kids, they're free, and you can get in for $10. I mean, it's a no-brainer for a great, good time. And listen, this is going to be good football. You know, I think that we'll see what happens with it, but I think we're going to get some really good football. And in all reality, most Division I games, you're going to pay more than that to get into for Division I college football. So, you know, only paying $10 for a professional game is good. So I think they're going to pack the place. I think that it's going to be electric in that stadium. Birmingham is definitely a football city. Alabama's a football state. And I think they're going to come out in droves to see this. You can definitely see that community's wrapped their arms around the USFL and embraced them with this. And it all makes perfect sense with it. I'm sitting here just a little perplexed about everything. And let's first, where's some of the, where I'm being perplexed? Well, we're getting little tidbits of things, but we're only getting bits and pieces. So let's go ahead and start with the coaches. We're still sitting at 6 coaches. There's two coaches yet that they have not announced. And they're already, introducing Skip Holtz, which they should, to the Birmingham community. He's going to be their coach, and I think it's a great person to put in that place. Birmingham is kind of like their flagship right now. It's the host city, and, he's a coach that has had success many places. You got name recognition. It just makes sense there. But we have 2 other coaches that haven't been named yet. And we've already got game times out and when the first game is and where's it going to be played and all this and yet, but we don't even have any players. And it's, like I said, I'm just kind of reeling and trying to figure these things out in my head. And 2, it's like they showed us 2 helmets, and they showed us the ball. The ball looks great, but I want to know about this stuff, right? I want to know, is the ball, just the same size as an NFL ball, as the college ball, or is this the size of the XFL ball? We know the XFL ball was a little more slender, and it was actually harder to kick than a traditional NFL professional football. However, it was a lot easier to throw and catch than an NFL ball. But so are we just getting a kind of repackaged NFL ball? The ball looks really, really good. I mean, hats off to them. It does. So the logo looks really sweet on there. I really like the colored logo. It looks really nice. It looks really good on the pigskin. And then, the stars on the side, I think look really, really nice. It does, though. I would have liked them to move them kind of more in and make them kind of as would be if you had the stripes on the ball. But it kind of reminds me, it's like 2 ripping off of the XFL. Maybe I'm drawing at straws. I don't know there, but I like the ball. It looks good. The helmets actually look really good. Both the Birmingham helmet and the General's helmet. And again, this is where I'm perplexed. We only got 2 helmets. I haven't seen any jerseys. I haven't seen anything else. And this is one of those things where I sit here and I'm like, okay, obviously they have all of this stuff taken care of. They're just not telling the public. And why is it they're not telling the public? I think it's because they just think that they don't have to right now, and that they'll just kind of unveil things as they feel like they need to, and as they're kind of just ready to let it be out there, as opposed to making these big announcements, putting this stuff out there. And I know we love big announcements, we love big leaks, but that's not how they're doing it. I mean, pretty much we just get this from some footage that they've got kind of set out there, and maybe they were thinking about this, maybe they weren't. I have absolutely no clue, but we've only got 2 helmets. There's 6 others that are out there that I have no clue what they look like. Going back to looking at them, though, I think the Generals one, listen, this game makes sense, right, between these 2 teams, but the Generals helmet looks really good. Pretty much all they did was a revamp of the old helmet, but I love the contrast with the white face mask with the red. I really like them making the Generals logo pop out. I like how they've modernized it a little bit, and brought it into the new era. It looks good. It looks great. The Stallions, I like the muted gold. That's good. I like the fact that they don't have the full running pony on there. I like that they have kind of just the stallion head. That looks really good on there. not a huge fan of it. To me, it kind of looks more like, it kind of harkens me back to some of the spring league stuff that looked a little, travel team chintzy, but I mean, it's not a bad logo. It's not a bad look. I do like that they kind of muted the gold down with it. And the maroon colors. I think it'll be sharp. It looks good. The two together look good there. I love the way that they have the maroon in the if you want to call it red, maroon. I don't know. They have that in the face mask. I think that's good. I like the modern stripe down it. All in all, this all looks really good. And to get back to my point, I think that these are two really good teams to have as your first matchup. So I think that this matchup's good. It makes sense, right? You have a hometown crowd. You're in Birmingham. You're going to have the home team. You're going to have Birmingham Stallions there. And it makes sense, too, with having the New Jersey Generals there. If you were to have to say, what would be the most recognizable team, it would probably have to be the New Jersey Generals, right? I mean, they were owned by Trump back in the day. You've got Herschel Walker, Doug Flutie. You've got all of that stuff there. You've got the recognizable. So it makes sense to have those two teams there. I'm just really, really perplexed with this whole thing because we got bits and pieces here, and it's this and this and that and that, and it really doesn't lend anything to it to me to where I'm just like, yes, this is unorganized in the way that it's rolling out, but I'm like, well, they have it, so I'm sure they have the others done. They're just not showing it to us. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's hodgepodge in releasing it, but I think that they've kind of got their crap together. I just don't know why we don't know who the other coaches are. I do think that it's a little long in the tooth to wait as long as they are to do the player stuff, but maybe there's some formalities behind the scenes with that, giving themselves a little bit of time for these coaches to get into place, get their coaching staffs into place, and that with it, this is all doable time. It's not like this is like they've got any Herculean feat that they've got to do to get where they're going with it. I'm just going to sit back and watch. I'm excited, definitely excited, but also I would be lying to say if I wasn't just a little bit concerned. But I think they're going to pull everything off, and I think it's going to be a fun, successful season. Like always, I want to know your thoughts down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Am I crazy? Am I right? I'm right? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down there, and we'll continue on the conversation. All right, guys, listen, I know that you're busy, and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.